Hi, we are here with Hannah-Kate McFadden, a 13-year-old who lives in Nashville, Tennessee, who is spreading positivity in a nonpartisan way. So no matter who you're voting for this election or in future elections, she's bringing civility in the way that we address each other to the foreground. So Hannah-Kate, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so what made you want to start? Well, I know that this all started from volunteering for a local candidate. We're not going to get into which side it is because I know that your message is far more than one side of the political aisle. But I would love to know about your motivation of what made you at the age of 13 want to go out and work for a local politician.
I was interested in politics. I always have been. And I wanted to learn more about it. And that's where I learned about it. And she told the candidate helped me. I interviewed her, and then she gave me a sign, and it was torn down, and we put it back up. The tree was toilet papered. And that's what made me figure out, like, it made me know, like, it made me understand how nasty politics was. Yeah. How mean and ugly it is. And that's what made me want to start the candidate pledge.
I love that because I do think that some people feel like today is the dawning of nastiness in politics, but it's been around forever. I think social media, we just get to see it a whole lot more, you know? So your sign was torn up, your tree was toilet papered, and you're sitting there like, seriously, I'm just trying to, I can't vote. I just want to express myself. So what did you do next?
I felt really discouraged and I wanted to quit volunteering for the candidate. Then Miss Maria Shriver, the former First Lady of California, tweeted and said, "Keep going. I'm inspired by her." She tweeted that to my mother. And that's what made me think up of the idea of the candidate pledge.
Wow. So did your mom put out on Twitter, this is what happened to us?
Yes, she put out the story with the picture of the tree. And that's when Miss Maria Shriver tweeted.
Wow. That's really incredible. She's kind of a big deal. Not kind of. So then the idea of the candidate pledge came about. And how long did it take you to have the idea to then actually put it into action?
Like a couple days. We had a graphic designer actually make the pledge. I came up with the ideas such as be respectful, don't use bad language, name calling. Those took a couple hours to figure out. And then we just had her, the graphic designer sent us the pledge, and I was like, it's perfect. And then we had it printed, and that's how people started signing.
Wow. And how long ago was that? Today is October 30th. So when did that go into become live?
About less than a month.
Wow. That's incredible.
Really, really well.
So what you've described what's in there. What is the long-term purpose of this? Where do you want to see this go?
I want to see it on a national level. So I want representatives, senators, congressmen, and congresswomen, and I want eventually maybe even the president to sign the pledge. That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. And you know what? I think that the fact that you're 13 years old and going into this with fresh eyes, that's what we need. Someone to, to say this is possible. So what do you enjoy about government and politics? What makes you interested in this as a career? Because you're seeing so much of the negative side, but you're still interested in it. I understand you want to keep going with politics. So what is it that intrigues you?
The history and the way our government was set up. We were the first democracy in about, 1,000 years. And I also I want to help make rules to make sure they're fair for everybody. So for women and people with disabilities, because my brother Samuel has autism, and that's why I want to help people with disabilities.
I love that. Life experience.
Yes, and I also really want to help people. I want to help women have equal rights.
Okay. So are there any more initiatives that are going to stem from the candidate pledge?
There are. So there is the elected official pledge, which is geared toward elected officials and to have them respectful and civil while they're in office. And then there's the supporters pledge to keep their supporters in line, because it's the supporters who are going out and they're the ones who are toilet papering trees and damaging signs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a third one, and I want to hold debates next election cycle.
Wow, that's great. And my understanding is, again, going back to the nonpartisan side part of this, that you have had offers from both sides of the aisle to come page. You have both sides of the aisle signing this. This is something that is very widely being embraced.
It is a nonpartisan, so Democrats, Republicans, nonpartisan races, everyone is signing this, and I've had several offers for people wanting me to come and page for them.
That's so exciting. I mean, you're 13 years old. This is a great opportunity. So far, I understand you had a presidential candidate sign, like one of the candidates. Who was that?
It was the independent candidate, Dr. Jo Jordanson, and we went to Chattanooga. That's where we were going to meet her. We were about 20 minutes away when her social media person called and said that she would not sign it because she hadn't gone over it. My dad gave me two choices. We could either turn around and go home, or we could go on and try to convince her to sign the pledge. We went on, and I spent an hour with her one-on-one.
Wow.
She eventually signed it. She said she did not want to sign it because she was not doing any of the negative things on the pledge.
Yeah.
And then I said that she should be a leader for the other two presidential candidates. And so she signed it.
Wow. That's a great story of perseverance, of learning when don't accept no for an answer when you really think that there's a yes there. And how great of her to have spent an hour with you listening to you.
Yes, she was very, very nice. I really liked her.
I love that. What has been your biggest surprise since you started the pledge?
My biggest surprise is the support I've gotten from everybody. So the people who have signed the pledge, from aldermen and mayors and senators and representatives, and from my parents and my brothers, and everyone who has seen the pledge has been very supportive. And then there are two things that have made it really surprising for me is when Miss Maria Shriver shared it all over her social media after she tweeted. So this was like after it took off. She shared it all over. And then Mr. Tim McGraw shared it on his social media the night of the last presidential debate. It was about, I don't know, 4,000 people saw it, 5,000 saw
That's
it
amazing.
just looking at his website.
That is so great. So when people come to the candidate pledge, and we'll make sure in the written interview that we have with you, because we have this video component and the written one to link there. Is there any place for an individual like me? I'm not a candidate. I'm not, but I do vote. I'm a big believer in voting. So is there a supporter pledge now, or that's coming, you said, right?
It is coming. We have to work on it a little bit.
So right now, what can people listening to this do? Can they take this and then just spread more awareness for it by tweeting it, putting it on their Facebook page, etc.?
Yes, I want the president to sign it. So for that to happen, we would have to have a lot of people know about it.
Yeah.
So just sharing it, and the candidates can go onto our website. They can print out a copy of the candidate pledge, and they can do a virtual signing with me, or they can take a picture of themselves signing the pledge, and we'll put it up on our website.
That is amazing. That's so great. So is there a particular position that you are interested in pursuing in politics as a career goal already?
There is. I want to go to Georgetown University. I want to get a degree in law, history, and political science. And I want to be the president of the United States.
Wow. Go for it. I think you already have the tenacity that it takes. That's amazing. So what is the best advice that you've been given? And it could do with this, or it could just be like a life advice. Is there something that you that really struck a chord with you?
It was when Miss Shriver tweeted, "Keep going, I'm inspired by you." That's when that "keep going" made me want to keep going in politics, no matter how rough it got.
So she said, keep going, I'm inspired by you. That's amazing. All right, so our last question here. This is just a fun one. It just gives us a little window into you. So what are 3 things you can't live without besides the obvious, which are your friends, your family, your faith? What are 3 fun things that you can't live without?
Can't live without ballet.
Ballet.
Reading. And
what was it? Reading? Is that what you said?
I love reading.
Yes.
And I can't live without Audrey Hepburn movies.
Audrey Hepburn movies. What's your favorite Audrey Hepburn movie?
I really like Roman Holiday.
Roman Holiday. I'm going to watch that this weekend because you brought it to my attention. I haven't watched it in a very long time, but I remember it being great.
It was when Audrey Hepburn was a little younger when she started out in her acting, but I thought it was amazing. I loved it.
Hannah-Kate, thank you so much for joining us today and inspiring us all to have big dreams, and more than that, to make a plan to help us get to our dreams and to bring a positive light to the world, because you're doing that. I expect huge things from you in the future.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you.